So, what happened here in Virginia in 2016 was, so fucked up. I ended up seeing 3 different therapists. I was trying to get a legal buffer so I could defend myself against the things people were doing to me. And, I was gonna go see my friend Moose, and he was in jail at the time. So I let him know afterwards. He kept wanting me to come visit him in North Carolina, and I let him know I couldn't do that. It was too close to Natalie's family, and I didn't want them to be scared. I just wanted to stay the hell away from them. So I had no place else to go, and so he invited me here. He moved in with his girlfriend, and I should probably say Shannon Alvarado was yelling almost every night. It takes me at least 24 hours to recover from that, and she did it every day. And I only ever yelled at her twice. You can't help me if you make everything about you. And if you have the rules different for you than they are for me. Dan Faber judged me very harshly for yelling at Shannon, because she just kept talking about her, and it's all about her and everything that she wants to talk about. And then she says, well, I have compassion. I'm like, no, I listen to you. So here I am in Virginia again, and I can't speak. I'm not allowed to have emotions. I have to pretend everything's fine and dandy. Moose's girlfriend, her name's Amber Jessie. She throws temper tantrums every day and screams at him and tells him she's gonna kill him, and he doesn't respond very nice either. And I listen to them. I listen to them complain about each other. I'm their venting post, their therapist, and they both use me to play on each other, to manipulate each other, to hate on each other. This is every day. I didn't know he was on meth. I was very blindsided by that. So he spends a lot of time going over to other people's house to do meth and to sell meth. And she pretends all sorts of crazy shit. Like tonight, she pretended someone was trying to break into the house and looking for him, and so on and so forth, because she wants to control him, and he doesn't want to be controlled. So she was freaking out. He said that he would help me, and when I got here, he can't, because like she said, he's all up in the dope game. And they got a mutual friend named Will, who they play off of each other with him as well. And so I listen to them every day, just like I listen to Shannon every day. And every day they do this and it shuts me down, but I'm not allowed to be shut down. I have to be happy all the time while these two are screaming at each other and breaking up with each other and then getting back together with each other, and I'm not allowed to speak. I just have to listen to them vent to me about their problems while they threaten to kill each other and scream at each other. I just found oh, it's a tattoo needle. Oh. So it gets to the point where I just want to scream at the top of my lungs, but I can't, because I'll end up homeless here in Virginia with nobody. I'm trying to get a ticket back to Nebraska. I got a friend who lives out in the country there, and he drinks, and when he gets to drinking, he gets to doing the same thing as everyone else, because he knows I'll take it, just like here they know I'll take it. I have to. It was different before I had to depend on them, but this is the world I live in. So they scream at each other all day, and sometimes they say things like, I just want to blow my fucking head off, and they're allowed to. And I said I don't want to feel suicidal, I just need help. And when I tried to talk about it, I got yelled at a lot. I tried to talk to Moose and Amber, and Amber was so fucked up on meth. I mean, she's talking non-stop, telling me how to think and how to feel. They're not allowing me to finish what it is I'm saying. I'm just wrong, and I'm not allowed to be that way. And I get told that I'm adding stress, and they're just manipulating each other is all. And she kicks them out and threatens to leave every day, and they're just screaming and fighting all the time. And I'm too afraid to speak now, and I have too much anxiety to sleep, and I pace, and I get snapped at for pacing because it makes them nervous. Meanwhile, they're screaming and shouting and kicking each other out and constantly venting at me and playing me to hate on each other, like Shannon Alvarado trying to get me to do the same thing that my dad did with Diane. Diane, back me up on this. Diane, back me up on this. Yeah, thanks for ganging up on me, Dad. I needed you to listen, but what I have to say doesn't matter. You interrupt me just like everyone else. So I'm not allowed to speak. I get treated like I'm a piece of shit for having the same emotions. I'm going through worse shit than all these people, and I listen to them. I have to, but none of them listen to me. And I shut down, and I'm not allowed. Moose told me I just need to man up. hear that a lot. I'm doing the best I can. I go from one environment to another. They're all abusive, and I end up taking the brunt of it because they're dependent on each other. They don't depend on me at all. I'm just the therapist. I'm just the guy who listens. I am too afraid to speak. If I do, I get snapped at. I'm not allowed to have emotions. I'm not allowed to feel what they are. I'm not allowed to vent, but they are. I have to be thankful for the roof over my head. Although the roof over my head isn't worth the pain. The pain of the drugs being worth more than me. And he almost overdosed. He had to swallow a bag of meth because he got pulled over. And I helped take care of him. And they're just screamy and fighty. And they smoke that shit. And they get all selfish. And still I'm not allowed to speak. And I'm not allowed to pace. I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to pace. I'm not allowed to have emotions. I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to say that the way that they treat each other shuts me down. But it shuts them down too. She spent half the time I've been here shouting and crying about trivial shit. And she gets mad at him about smoking all their dope. This isn't what older folks call dope. Older folks call marijuana dope. The younger folks call methamphetamines dope or shit. So they have their lives surrounding that, and she says she doesn't even need it. She only does it because he's there and he does it. Meanwhile, she smokes it non-stop while he's gone for 4 hours, 8 hours or more. And then he comes home and she screams at him. While he's gone, she stalks him wherever he goes. She looks on her phone to see where his phone goes. Or she calls up her friends to see where he's at. Or she goes looking for his phone and goes to the bathroom, and when he asks where his phone is, she says, "Oh, I found it." And then she'll scream at him because something was in that phone that she didn't like. And he screams at her because there was something in her phone that he doesn't like. And then back to the dope game. And I just have to take it. The screaming and the fighting. And the screaming and the fighting and the paranoia and their meth shadows. Their meth shadows, not mine. So I'm an outsider because I don't do the meth. Meanwhile, Moose used to be as anti-meth as me. And I shut down, and I get yelled at for shutting down. I get yelled at for pacing. I get yelled at for not smiling. I get yelled at for having emotions. And that cycle continues every day. More screaming, more fighting, more crying, more playing, more drama. I've got real problems. So do they. They're addicted. She blames it on him, he blames it on her. And I get the punishment. I get to watch Moose sink into this hole. I get to watch Amber choose the drugs over her kids. Sorry. And I'm not allowed to cry or I'm being pussy. I'm hurting so much. And they say that they'll help, and they say that they'll listen, and then I speak, and it's all about them. It's all about what they want. It's all about their opinions without looking, and none of them look. And now it's 3 a.m. I'm going for a walk, because they're watching a show about death and threatening to kill each other and threatening to kill themselves, and I'm not allowed to express that or I get in trouble. And then I pace and I get in trouble for pacing and I can't speak and I can't pace. And I'm stuck in this circle where I can't take care of myself and I need help. And I go to where they say they'll help me and I end up helping them instead, listening to them instead. And then I'm the bad guy because I pace. Or because I speak. The same thing over and over for 17 minutes. Here on this phone. It's been the same thing most of my life. When I was in Boulder, I was the keeper of the blankets. I made my rounds and I woke them up so they wouldn't get a ticket. And I listened to their problems, and when they asked for my help, I helped them. I didn't pass judgment on them. Yes, they're alcoholics out there, and I still help them. And there are meth addicts out there, and I still help them. These people had families once. Families who didn't care. Families who yelled at them and screamed at them and manipulated them until all they had left was the drugs. The drugs and survival. And I stayed away from the drugs. I smoked the weed. I made the stressful stuff tolerable for a time. But I'm not the rent holder, I'm not the bill payer, I'm the burden who helps clean the house, and at least there's kittens. At Shannon's, there was Sadie, her dog, and chapel with Aunt B talking over me about poop and negativity, and I just listen. And all these people, I do as they ask as best I can. And if there's something I can't do, I get yelled at or screamed at or kicked while I'm down. With Jamie Curtis, when Natalie died, she was gonna take me in. When I needed the friend the most, she was cruel to me. And she threw me away. I had to depend on Lana and Amanda, who I got rid of when I was visiting Natalie here. And Miss Jerry, who I got rid of when I was visiting Natalie here. And Candace, who I got rid of while I was visiting Natalie here. Candace and Uncle Mike and my dad, Miss Jerry, Lana, Amanda, all these people who I removed from my life in Virginia in 2016. I didn't want them in my life for a reason. They were mean, they were cruel, and only what they had to say mattered. I could leave, though. I wasn't trapped in a subservient position. I was able to go elsewhere. I was able to finally go back and see my loved ones in Boulder, and I had a vehicle, so I didn't have to carry a backpack, so I could walk more than a block without being victimized. I wasn't stuck sleeping behind a dumpster with a fucked up back, being harassed by the police every night. I could finally go back and see my loved ones, and when I did, it was opinions that killed me. It was opinions that kept me from seeing Pierre and seeing my older brother Rabbit and seeing Lexi Woods and I couldn't see Kinga, and I couldn't see Anna. I couldn't see Ogre. I couldn't see Sage. I couldn't see Mowgli. I couldn't see Christine. And I couldn't see Maddie. And then I went to my friends who I thought could help, and they wouldn't listen. The pretty words, you need to feel this way and you need to feel that way, and they don't feel that way and they don't act that way. But I have to be perfect all the time, like I was before I hurt my back, when I was happy, when I had my loved ones around me, and I could help them when they needed me, and I could hear them when they needed me. Veronica Randall was the first friend I lost in texting. She just wouldn't listen. She just wouldn't Why don't you let me do your taxes? I'll let you, but I have to wait till Jesse's there. I don't have an address, Veronica. Please call me. Please call me and understand. When you're mean to me and it hurts me and it shuts me down, and I let you know how it makes me feel, and I'm not allowed, because then I'm blaming you, right? I'm telling you how you make me feel, how much it hurts, and I'm not allowed to hurt, right? You're allowed. Why are you allowed and I'm not? I'm in hell. Over opinions. When I let them know how it affects me, I'm the bad guy. I get it thrown in my face, the things that I had to do when they didn't keep their word. But I'm not allowed to tell them how it affected me when they didn't keep their word. I'm not allowed to say what I went through when they didn't keep their word, or I'm blaming them, right? And here I am, the same circle. I'm not allowed to speak. I'm not allowed to pace. I'm not allowed to hurt. I'm not allowed to feel. I just have to listen. I have to be this emotionless creature who does what everybody else wants. And I have to magic up the resources to do what everyone else wants. And the people I love the most. Jamie and the boy, Rabbit, and Natalie. I can't see them. I can't love them in person. I can't protect them. When they needed my help, I was there. And they forgot. When I needed their help, they forgot. I shouldn't have had to trust them. Sean, you need to feel this way, and you need to feel that way. You need to think this way, and you need to think that way. You need to do this, and you need to do that. And they don't. They have resources I don't have, and they take that for granted. They have people in their lives that I don't have, and they take that for granted. They have rights that I don't have, and they take that for granted. And I have to hope that they're going to keep their word. And when they don't, I can't say anything. I have to just take it. While time ticks by until it's no longer valid, and each day I hurt worse. Hoping someone cares to listen instead of talk over me and tell me how to think and how to feel. In circles. All around in circles. All about them. I love them because they're human. I love them because I feel their pain. I love them because I understand. I love them because I can put myself in their shoes. But they can't see the parallels, and even when I show them, this is how I feel, now you feel it too. Am I the bad guy for doing it back to you? When I needed you the most, and you gave me those promises, and you didn't fulfill them. Back to that circle, back to begging for help, begging for money to get somewhere safe, somewhere where I can work, somewhere where I can sit down and write my story without screaming. All these people screaming all the time. Oh, Sean, you're exaggerating. I wasn't screaming all the time. No, but you screamed a lot. My dad screamed at me. Shannon screamed at me. Shannon screamed at me a lot. And she screamed at Rick a lot. She only screamed at me twice while I was there. She screamed at me for standing up for Rick. Sean, what should I do? Wait until morning, Shannon. Make a decision then. I didn't tell her it was because she'd be sober in the morning. I just said, wait till morning and make a decision then. And she'd wake up and she'd act like everything was fine. Like she hadn't been screaming all night, or crying all night, or playing me off of Rick like Moose and Amber do. And there's Christopher Tapp, who called me, or I called him, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lie, my words didn't come out right. I called him, and like before, he started screaming about Tammy. And it was different this time. He kept hearing people laughing in the background. There was nobody there. He says, I can hear you guys laughing. I said, I'm not laughing. There's nobody laughing. Don't lie to me. I can hear them laughing. They're not laughing, Fuzzy. They're not laughing. There's nobody here to laugh. And it hurts. It hurts me so much. I'm not allowed to hurt. Back to that circle. Back to that pain. Meanwhile, it's back to the dope game. I'm going back to that place because my stuff is there. To listen to more screaming, to listen to them and be their therapist when they whine about each other. And when she's gone, he whines to me, and when he's gone, she whines to me, and when they're both there arguing, he goes in the bedroom and she comes out and tells me how horrible he is. And when she goes to the bathroom, he tells me how horrible she is. And then she talks about him like he's not there. And then he talks to me like she's not there. And then they go back to the meth. And I'm sober and I'm hurting. And I'm needing help. I need to be heard. And when I speak, it's back to the same circle. You can't, Sean. You're not allowed. You're a terrible person if you speak. You're a terrible person if you have emotions. You're destroying our lives if you're pacing. You can't pace, you can't speak, you can't feel. Sean, you have to turn it all off. You have to let it all go. And the whole time, I just want them to stop screaming. You're not going to help me how you said you would, okay? But you don't have to be screamy every day. Make it stop. Please, Natalie, make it stop. When people get sick, I don't pray to God. He never listened to me. I pray to Natalie. She's the only person my entire life who ever listened to me and understood. The only person who allowed me to have my emotions and not shame me like I was a terrible person. But then I got that phone, and it was back into the darkness while people tell me why they used to love me. It's because I paid attention to them when no one else would. I listened to them when no one else would. I helped them when no one else would. And still, I can't see Jamie and the boy. I can't see Rabbit. And I'll never get to see Natalie again. I just needed the pain to stop. I needed the violence to stop. I needed her to tell them the truth. But then they feel embarrassed. And with embarrassment comes shame. And they're too ashamed to come forward. And so it's all my fault. They can have emotions, but I can't. They can speak, but I can't. They can pace, but I can't. Thank God, right? All my loved ones who hate me, they die. And I hear it, and I still love them, and it still hurts.